community are in the midst of recovering their business operations. So, here in UniKL, we have three speakers representing the Italian government, business association, and industry. So let me introduce the panel that we'll be discussing through online. First, we have His Excellency, Mr. Cristiano Maggipinto, Ambassador of Italy in Kuala Lumpur. How are you, sir?
Very good. Thank you so much
for
this
event.
Thank you for joining us
in the FB Live sessions. The second speaker, Mr. Enrico Giuntelli, Secretary General, Italy Malaysia Business Association. Enrico?
Hello, and thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here.
Okay, so thank you, Enrico. And then, of course, the third speaker, we are importing the third speaker from Singapore, Mr. Angelo Cutuli, Product Engineering Director, STMicroelectronics. Hi, Angelo.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you also from my side and on behalf of ST for inviting us.
Yeah, of course. It's a very good pleasure for us, for UniKL MIDI, to have all the three panels with us today. So the panel will be discussing on very interesting topics. The topic is graduate employability and career opportunities with Italian companies locally and abroad. Wow, a very good topics, yeah? So let's follow this session until the end of the session. So let's start with the first question. His Excellency, could you share with the audience on the embassy role to promote deeper collaboration between Italy government and Malaysia government? Sir, over to you.
Yes. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this seminar and to dedicate it to the cooperation between Malaysia and Italy and MIDI and Italy. The role of the embassy is, of course, of promoting good relations between Italy and Malaysia, and this in every field. In the economic and the trade field, in the cultural field, in the political field, in the scientific and research field, and so on. What we can say is that the bilateral relationship between Italy and Malaysia are growing from every point of view. We have more and more cooperation from the cultural point of view. For example, cooperation with UniKL in MIDI, the Malaysia Italy Design Institute. We have cooperation at the economic and trade level. There are joint ventures. There are increasing Italian investments in Malaysia and Malaysian investments in Italy. And of course, all this set of cooperation, of increasing and growing cooperation between Italy and Malaysia, has also the effect of creating job opportunities for young Malaysians in Italian companies, in Italian institutions, and therefore open a whole new range of possibilities for Malaysia, especially in this situation in which the economy is being slowed down by the pandemic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So basically, His Excellency has mentioned the increasing of growing bilateral relationship between Malaysian and also the Italian companies, yeah. And then of course there are significant numbers of joint venture between Malaysia and Italian entity in Malaysia and directly investing into Malaysia. So to Mr. Enrico, okay, from this perspective, okay, from IMBA perspective, how important Malaysia to the Italian business expansion and operation? What are the advantages of having the business operating in Malaysia? Mr. Enrico?
Thank you for the question, Doctor. So definitely Malaysia is a key economic partner for Italian companies, but not just Italian companies in general. Can be European companies, Western companies in general that are looking to invest in Asia. In fact, Malaysia, as represented in the past, it still represents a preferred destination for foreign investments, both in ASEAN and also Asia Pacific level. Especially in ASEAN, if you consider ASEAN, Malaysia is often chosen as a hub for regional operations, in particular for manufacturing, sales and logistics, and also BPO, what is called BPO, which is business process outsourcing. In the case of Italian companies, I would say it's mostly related to manufacturing, and it can either be a manufacturing facility for Southeast Asia or for Asia, or even it can be a manufacturing facility that is integrated in the whole global supply chain of the company, if it's a multinational company. Or it can be maybe a representative office, a sales office for the region, where usually they have a team in the country that serves all the clients in the region. Can be ASEAN, can be Asia Pacific, in the sales, after sales, and services in general related to manufacturing. So even if the company is not manufacturing in Malaysia, still it's still a manufacturing company that is using Malaysia as an operation hub. Yeah. And I would like to add this, that it's actually a very common mistake on the Italian economy, is that a lot of people think that Italy is famous for food, fashion, design, right? But actually, we are the second largest manufacturing economy in Europe, and we have a huge number of small and medium manufacturing companies in sectors such as automotive, aerospace, industrial automation, oleochemical, and so on. So that's why in IMBA, we believe that there are massive untapped opportunities for Italian manufacturing companies in Malaysia for many reasons. Both countries have their economy is based on a strong manufacturing sector, and there is a clear match between the two countries for several of these manufacturing subsectors. As I said before, aerospace, automotive, and industrial automation, to name the three probably most important. Oil and gas as well. We are talking about components or even services for the oil and gas sector. Italian companies can provide a lot of those for Malaysian companies. Also, in general, Italian manufacturing companies are often SMEs, where they focus on maybe on a single specialized product, and due to their size, they don't have enough resources to internationalize, or maybe not yet. I mean, it's not that they will not, but it's that they haven't internationalized yet. So maybe Malaysia can be the first gateway to Asia as an investment for these countries, and that's actually what we are trying to push as IMBA. So to promote Malaysia as an investment destination for Italian companies. They want to start building their presence in Asia. As far as why there are advantages in investing in Malaysia, I would say definitely the country. Most people in the country have a good command of English. It's very, very important. It's really important. You cannot say how much is this important for foreign investments, as well as the above average, if you consider ASEAN, the education level of the people in the country, a good number of engineers and professionals in general, the possibility of hiring expats as well for key positions in the company, and then as I said, Malaysia is a country with a very well developed manufacturing sector. So this ecosystem also helps companies that are establishing their presence here as well. I think that should answer your question.
Thank you, Enrico, for a very deep explanation on the important and the advantages of Malaysia to the Italian companies for investment. So thank you for promoting Malaysia to the Italian companies and also to the Western companies. So having said so, okay, so Italian is the second largest economic power in Europe. Okay, so basically you are one of
second
the
largest manufacturing power.
Okay, the second largest manufacturing powers in Europe. So basically, in manufacturing, aerospace, automotive, and the other type of manufacturing. And I think this is a true testimonial because with us today we have the representative from STMicroelectronics, Mr. Angelo. So basically, I have been informed the STMicroelectronics has been in operation in Malaysia for more than 40 years. Am I right, Mr. Angelo?
I was mute. So we've been here since 1974.
Yeah, very long. I think it was
very long time.
Okay, Mr. Angelo, the question to you. Could you tell us about STMicroelectronics? Perhaps you can share with the parent and student on the opportunities available with Italian companies, actually in STMicroelectronics. Over to you, sir.
Sure. So good morning again, and it is my pleasure to speak a little bit about this company. I've been working for almost 30 years. So they came to Malaysia before I started working. Our company is having an annual revenue of about $10 billion US, and we have about 40,000 people employed in this company. We produce semiconductor components, and those semiconductor components we produce can be found in any kind of products that are used in our normal life. So you can find them, maybe this presentation will help us a little bit. You can go to the next page, please. Okay, yes. So this page is showing our revenues in last year, 2019, of about $10 billion, as I was saying, 46,000 people, of which about 8,000 in research and development. We are one of the companies that still believe that having in-house manufacturing is very important. And in fact, we have 11 manufacturing sites. If you can move to the next slide. Our presence in the world is scattered everywhere. You can see the different sales office, research and development offices, front end and back end. The manufacturing of semiconductor is divided in two main parts. One for the wafers, front end, and then the packaging and testing, back end. And Malaysia is used for back end manufacturing. And something else we will see later. Next page, please. This is our company organization. It is also important to highlight that when we speak, as Enrico was saying, about Italy, we speak about Europe in general. And in fact, our company is a very good example of that. Our company is Italian and French. And in fact, our CEO is now French, has been Italian for the past 20 years. And is based in Geneva. The organization here are, as you can see, a mix of Italian and French people. So it's a very good example of cooperation inside Europe that is successful everywhere internationally. Next slide, please. This is our vision. We want to give a positive contribution to the people's life. As you know, electronic is very important in today's life. It allows us, for instance, to have this remote meeting in a seamless way, and is used, as I was saying, everywhere in many of the things we use in our normal life. Next slide, please. We have, of course, values that are taking care of our shareholders, of our customers, to which we want to give the best possible service. And we are committed especially to sustainability. Next slide. You will find ST components that, as I was saying, are electronic semiconductor components everywhere. You will find them in cars. You will find them in the Internet of Things. You will find them in industrial application. And everything that goes with electronic. So phones, televisions, cars, tablets, smart wearable devices, all these kind of things have semiconductor. And in fact, thanks to this, even during the COVID-19 situation, semiconductor in general has not been suffering a very big loss in business. Very different from people operating, unfortunately, in tourism or maybe aviation sector. Next slide, please. The picture here is showing the presence of the manufacturing location. We have a lot in Europe, being a European company in terms of manufacturing, but as you can see, the presence in Asia is quite strong. We have a manufacturing plant in Singapore, in Malaysia, in China, and in the Philippines. Next slide, please. This is a small list of the main customers. That we have probably thousands of customers, but these are the biggest ones. You can recognize the name very easily: Apple, Bosch, Continental, Hewlett Packard, Huawei. Mobileye is one of the company making self-driving cars. Samsung, Seagate, Tesla. So we are at the top notch of technologies everywhere in the world, in any kind of application. Next slide. There are three big product divisions in our company, and the market share between the three product division, or the business share between these three product division, is well balanced, and this has allowed us historically to be very resilient to any change in the market. Because when something is going bad, for instance, in the sensor group, this will be compensated by automotive and vice versa. We sell everywhere in the world. As you can see, about half of our business is in Asia Pacific, and we sell directly to OEM, original equipment manufacturing companies, but also to general distribution. Next. This is a breakdown of the presence of our people in the world. As you can see, about 18,000 people work in Asia. And in the following slides, you will see that in Malaysia specifically, we have about 4,500 to 5,000 people just in more. So it's a very, very important part of ST employee. Next slide, please. So this is a little bit about the Moore plant. There is a picture on the left side corner. And this plant was started in 1974, as I was anticipating. Is mainly dedicated to our top quality demanding customers that are the automotive customers, so those utilizing electronic in the cars, and is also used a lot for microcontrollers. So it's a very, very high-tech plant. It's the biggest backend plant in ST organization, in value and also in volume. We can move to the next slide. This is a view of the plant. As you can see, it's quite massive. There is a built-up area of about 82,000 square meters, which is quite huge. Next slide. This is the evolution of the census. In the last years, of course, it has been quite stable because we've been increasing the automations, but we are always in the range of 4,500 people. You will see that the blue portion of this slide is showing the manufacturing people, and you can see that there is a very, very important part of the employee in Malaysia that are working in R&D. If you move to the next slide, this is some other view of ST. We have been expanding in last year, investing about $10 million to upgrade the power grid so that we could utilize and facilitate more surface inside the plant to accommodate the growth in manufacturing. This is just for the power supply to the plant. Next slide. This is the output for the plant. It has been continuously growing, and this is the main reason for which in Malaysia we have decided, on top of the manufacturing, to start putting in place some R&D, because it's very important for us to be able to design products that are sustainable in manufacturing. And who better than the people working near to the manufacturing can understand and do that. Next slide. This is the investment that we have done in the past years in terms of CapEx, capital expenditure. You can see that every year we invest between 50 and 70 million dollars in Malaysia. So it's a quite big investment since many years. Next slide. So we, of course, maybe we will leave this for a further question, but we, of course, can hire mainly electronic engineers. So we are mainly interested to the hiring of electronic engineers. And in the past 5 years, we have been working with the Malaysian government to achieve that, and MIDI as well. We started some projects of R&D in Malaysia, and we were able to hire people through one of our subcontractors, because ST, apart from hiring people, works also with the local company. One of them is named Testab, and is a totally Malaysian company for supplying engineering services. So we did the projects with them where they invested about $5 million for us, and they provide us engineering services. This investment was supported also by MIDI, because the staff were able in this way to hire engineers as well, and use those engineers to provide us the engineering services we need. We have also started in Malacca, that is very near to our to the city where ST operates, that is in Muar, cooperation with universities to bring internship or interns to ST to work with us, so that they can then be hired according to the need that we have and the interest that they have. And we have been also proposing to those universities, and started already, that we provide some syllabus. Why we do that? We want to be sure that people are trained on what is needed by our company, and we also want to be sure that those people understand very well the job that they could do in our company, so that they decide if they will be interested or not. It's very important to do that, because of course generally or normally the university give a generic skills set to the people. But speaking about electronic is like speaking about medicine. You have a normal generic medicine, and then you have a specialist. We are specialists in electronic, and so we want for the people that work with us to have a special training and special skill set that can be used in our industry. And we look forward to do these kind of cooperations we've been doing for now only in Malacca, with other universities everywhere in Malaysia. We provide equipments, and we provide also free lessons to the universities. So we are ready to do that more and more. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Angelo, for the opportunity. So very huge opportunity available to the parent and also to the student. And I believe this is the best time for them to grab this opportunity. Based on one of your presentation, we can see that beside Europe, Southeast Asia has more manufacturing base for STMicroelectronics. Am I right, Angelo?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So a very huge investment from STMicroelectronics. Then I believe this is through a very good relationship that this role played by Embassy of Italy in Malaysia and also in Southeast Asia. So moving forward, we have another question to His Excellency. When the government established a UniKL Malaysia Italy Design Institute, what are the aspirations of Italy governments in building a relationship between Malaysia and Italy, especially in creative design? Sir, over to you.
Yes. You know, Italy, as you know, and as probably many people know, is considered a kind of superpower in the sector of design, industrial design, fashion design, and so on. So the reason, one of the main reasons that motivated us to create, and with your invaluable support, the MIDI, the Malaysia Italy Design Institute, has been, of course, our availability to share the know-how in the sector of design with other countries, and in this case with Malaysia in particular. We think that design can play a very important role also in order to favor a sustainable world, more respectful of the environment, in which we can fight better climate change. And from this point of view, an educational institution like MIDI is essential, because it aims exactly to educate and to train people. So we think that in the sector of design, there will be more and more possibilities and opportunities. Of course, the aim is not only to educate and to train people, but to make in such a way that the students who come out of the of MIDI have the possibility to find easily a job in an occupation in their field. And to this aim, as you know, we are exploring different initiatives. First of all, the cooperation with the Polimi, the Politecnico of Milan, and with other technical universities and institutions in Italy. We are exploring, and we have not only started, but we are negotiating with the government of Malaysia an agreement on the mutual recognition on the academic title, so that the titles that are achieved in Malaysia can be valid also in Italy and vice versa. In this way, really, we can favor the employment opportunities of young Malaysians, both in Malaysian, in Italian companies, and in Italy. And as you have heard from Angelo just few minutes ago, some Italian companies here are already active in promoting this education, training, and job opportunities for young Malaysian in the field of engineering, in the field of design, and so on. So I would say that MIDI is, from this point of view, exemplary of a multidisciplinary initiative, which aims at the same time to educate and train people, but it is connected to share know-how, experiences, technologies between two countries, and at the same time is trying to connect the world of university with the employment world. Thank you.
So okay. So, sir, I think you have mentioned about there are huge opportunities for internship, not only internship but for the workings, okay, with the Italian company. So I believe there are more than 100 over companies are in operation in Malaysia. So, Mr. Enrico, so having this huge amount of companies under the IMBA, can you share with us how IMBA is responding to the current COVID-19 pandemic? Yeah. then what are the strategies that IMBA is taking on to overcome this issue? Enrico?
Hey, mute, Enrico.
You are muted, Enrico.
Sorry.
It happens to everyone.
You need to repeat the question, Enrico?
Yes. No. It's I got the question. Thanks,
Okay, good.
Doctor. So first of all, IMBA mission is to support Italian business in Malaysia, right? And we do that. There are two different ways to do that. So I would like to answer this question with two different teams. So the first one is the support that IMBA provides to Italian companies that are already based in Malaysia. At the beginning of MCO, just when the lockdown started, it was very difficult for companies, any company, to navigate through the regulations that were just started. At the time was the beginning of mid-March. I was not sure exactly which company could operate and with which capacity, what were the standard operating procedures, and so on. So at that time, and this is, I would like to say also thanks to the in partnership with, of course, with the embassy, also with the Italian Trade Agency, but also with the European Chamber of Commerce, so Eurochem Malaysia as well. We were able to communicate with the government, understand what companies could do and how, and then being, let's say, a point of reference for these companies that were not sure what to do, so that they could continue operating following the rules. So in that sense, during the pandemic, that's what we mainly did, because we are an association, so we usually organize many events, and at that time it was not possible. So we shift to that kind of activity. The second theme, I like to call it fostering business in the new normal. This is why during the pandemic changed how companies conduct business at an international level, and I believe these changes are here to stay. So the way that IMBA, but any chamber of commerce or any business association operated in the past all around the world was in a very traditional way. Organization of business missions, participation to trade exhibitions, and so on. This is something that is not gonna work anymore. At least for us, it's what we believe. So we're moving towards digitalizing our services, and this is for Italian companies that are not yet in Malaysia and they're looking to invest or do business in Malaysia, and they come to us to help them. So the difference with the first part was that those companies are already in Malaysia and they need support in Malaysia. What I'm talking about now is Italian companies that are not yet in Malaysia and they need support to be established in Malaysia, either exporting or investing. By digitalization of our services, for instance, we recently partnered with a Made in Italy B2B platform that allows international buyers to browse and purchase stocks of Italian products online. We're talking about food and beverage, design, furniture, cosmetics, fashion, but also automotive parts or accessories. Meanwhile, on a different scale, we just started working on new projects. It's related to aerospace and automotive. And there are two sectors, as I said before, when I replied to the first question, they present great opportunities for Italian and Malaysian companies. I cannot say much about this yet because it's a very early stage, but if you keep following our social media, you will know more about it soon. We're going to announce soon as it's ready. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Enrico. Okay, so basically, I believe the SOP and the guidelines are available by Malaysia government for the Italian companies to operate. And then you have a very good initiative putting all the Italian product online. And then we have one comment here from our audience, from Atai Rahman. his comment is, Excellency, I love eat pizza, sir.
I love?
Yeah, I love to eat pizza. One of the comment from our audience. Okay, so never mind. There is still a few questions in our Facebook. Okay, to the other audience, so you may post your question or even though your feedback into our MIDI FB. So going to the next question to Mr. Angelo. How do we engage the student, okay, the young talents, okay, from the beginning when they start study in the university, actually in UniKL MIDI, for their studies to tap the employability opportunities? How they can work on this?
Okay, so we have a continuous program of training and the influx of intern in our company. We can accommodate these directly through STMicroelectronics, and we do it also through a Malaysian company I was mentioning before, because we basically perform the same kind of R&D job. Also, the manufacturing take internship, and so people that are interested into that kind of career can also do that. We would like, as much as possible, to start a program of training that I was mentioning before in university, in your university, for instance, by providing the syllabus and the equipments that are used for the training. And we will provide also the classes for free. These will allow the people to understand if they are interested to our job proposal and apply for internship with us. Is probably one of the best way that we can promote our company and also attract the best talent. Speaking of talent, I will go a little bit on side of the question. It's very nice to see that in the past years, usually we have always been seeing expatriate people coming from Europe or Western countries to Malaysia to give knowledge or pass knowledge to the local people about way of doing things. Now, at least in our company, we are expatriating people from Malaysia or Asia in general to Europe to pass knowledge to our European colleagues. Why is that? Because the knowledge we grow here on manufacturing is very useful also in Italy, where anyway we do a lot of manufacturing. So this is very interesting, and it shows that the choice we did is very right when we decide to invest on R&D and on people in Asia. Investing on people, starting from university, from college, is very, very important. And I hope that I will receive positive feedback from your university.
Okay, thank you. So very proud to hear that, because STMicroelectronics is very passionate to train our local engineers, our local people to become the expert in your areas. Yeah, so we don't have to import the other player from Europe. Okay, so this is basically
correct.
The development for the country. Okay, so we're going to the screen, to the FB live stream. So we have one question from Afikah Marshall. Okay, so most of the students, they are interested in having internship and working with Italian companies. So I read through the question, then I pass to the panel to answer. Perhaps one or two of you can answer or complement each other. Yeah. So a question from her. Delighted to know that students are welcome to participate in Italian companies here in Malaysia. How can a student apply for a job at Italian companies after graduating? And do we need a strong knowledge in Italian language to do so?
Okay, if they want to speak, I can give the first answer for what concerns my company. They are welcome. If they speak Italian, is good. But by the way, the pronunciation of letter between Italian and Bahasa is the same, A, B, C. So it's easier to learn each other language. But apart from that, we operate in an international environment, so English is perfectly fine. As the ambassador was highlighting in the beginning, and Enrico too, I mean, the fact that everyone in Malaysia speaks in English is a very, very important thing. The application is very easy. Anyone that is interested, you can contact us either through IMBA or directly to myself, for instance, and we will be happy to consider your application for internship. Also before graduation. You don't need to be graduated to apply for internship.
Okay, good. Because for everyone info, UniKL, we are having the internship semester at the semester 8. So basically, the students are ready to work once they enter your company as internship students. So this is the beauty of our UniKL syllabus or UniKL program structure. So perhaps Enrico would like to add on this.
Yes,
Enrico?
Sure. It was actually in one of my closing statement. Wanted to say, and this is a reply to this question actually. IMBA has around over 100 members, and there are over 120 Italian companies in Malaysia. Companies with a manufacturing facility in Malaysia, I will say maybe around 30, but there are many more with operation related to manufacturing, right? So there are opportunities, of course. We are happy to collaborate with UniKL MIDI to help matching students with the companies, so they can contact us through UniKL or directly to me, and we will try to help to find. It can be internship, can be graduate position. We already actually in the past couple of years since we started collaborating with UniKL, I believe already a few students have been placed through internship program, or even I think also one graduate program with some of our members. So we will continue doing that, and we are feel free to talking to the students. Feel free to send an email to know more about, or even can just check our website to check our members and see which companies are present in Malaysia. Not all, they are not all of them, but at least you will have a good idea of which companies are present in Malaysia.
Okay, so we have quite an active number of questions coming in. Can I get one more questions?
Sure.
Okay. So there is one. We take one last question. Yeah. So there's a question from Poji Joho Rosli. Morning, sir. I have a question. I'm looking forward to work in European countries in the future, and I have considered Italy as one of our top choice. My question is, what are the job prospects for Malaysian in Italy? So perhaps, Mr. Ambassador, you would like to add on?
Yes. You know, there are increasing Malaysian investments in Italy. So there are prospects for Malaysians, of course, and I would say from the principal point of view, everybody can go to work in Italy, provided, of course, that they have already made an application and found a job, because they need a visa to do that. As far as the sectors which can be more, I would say, more interesting from our point of view, these are the oil and gas sector, and this is because Malaysia has an already very important presence in Italy from this point of view, since Petronas has made of Italy its hub, its European hub for the production and the research and development in the matter of vehicles lubricant, and in the technology sectors, for example, aerospace, machinery, industrial equipment, electrics and electronics, because these are the sectors in which the relationship, the economic relationship between Italy and Malaysia are stronger. We have, for example, another cooperation with the Malaysian University, which is a cooperation between the Politecnico of Torino and the University Putra Malaya in the sector of mathematics and mathematics applied to aerospace. So I would suggest a Malaysian student or young person, young man or woman who would like to go to work to Italy, to focus on high technology sectors, and of course design is one of this. Also because, you know, the design, you apply to everything. You have to apply to electric, electronics, aerospace. Every activity, every field needs as a component of industrial design, and to speak, of course, also of other fields like furniture and so on. So to focus on this, and of course, I would say, if you go to Italy, you want to work to Italy, it is essential to have at least a basic knowledge of Italian. Because of course in Italy we use English, but it's inevitable. If you know Italian, it's much easier, much better, and you have a comparative advantage towards the one who do not know Italian.
Yeah, okay. So
I don't know if Angelo or Enrico would like to add something, maybe.
Yeah. The panel can add on. Yeah, before we have the closing session.
Maybe I can add something. Definitely, if a Malaysian student is interested to work and live in Italy, probably the first step would be some sort of university experience in Italy. That could be, and so I believe you've been working with Polyme already, and also we in IMBA has some connection with some Italian universities. So maybe we can also explore more collaborations between Malaysian universities and Italian universities, because I think that's the best way for a young person to live abroad. For starters, right, is to study in the country, to have an academic experience in that country.
Yes, correct. Because last year I managed to visit 4 universities in Italy through the assistance from Ambassador itself. So thank you to Ambassador, because enabled me to visit those universities. I still need to have one more question, because there's one request from our students. Yeah, so her question is basically based on your working experience in Italy and Malaysia. What are the differences or the similarity with the working culture? They are very eager to know what are the culture difference. Okay, I open to the panel. Yeah. Maybe Angelo, because you are partly in Europe, partly in ASEAN. Yeah, Angelo.
Yeah. Well, luckily, okay, my work experience has been everywhere in the world, so I can say that I've been working, for instance, in USA and also in Europe, and also in Africa, in North Africa. But I can tell you one thing: there is more similarity between the Asian culture and the European culture than there is between the European culture and American culture from a work point of view, and also from social life point of view. The importance of the family, the values that exist in the society are very, very similar between Italy and Asia. So this makes the personal relations in Asia easier to be established. And when you work, even if you have a professional relationship with someone, that professional relationship is very much facilitated if you can be friend with the guy you work with. And so this is my personal experience in Asia. It has been very, very easy to create, to get friends and to have people that can help you truly. From a pure technical point of view, I have to say that the people we get from fresh universities in Malaysia have a very good set of skills, basic skills that can be applied in our industry. I'm speaking about electronic engineers, of course, as we hire mainly electronic engineers. The reason for which we decided to give some very specialistic trainings are the one I mentioned before. But that doesn't mean that the university is not providing a good skill set to the people. It's just that we want to be faster and we want to be very effective. I would add one thing to the previous question. I suggest for people to start working with the Italian companies if they can in Malaysia first, and then use those companies as a bridge to go work in Italy. It works much, much better. We do it for Malaysian people that work in our company in Malaysia first, and then they go to Italy, because that will give you the platform and support that you need to be efficient in the new country.
Thank you, Angelo. So basically, the time is not with us. Okay, so we are at the end of the last session. But before that, can we have a summary remark from His Excellency? Sir, hand over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. I would like to conclude just pointing out to two things which goes back directly to design. The first one is that the 22nd of October, together, we are celebrating the Italian Design Day, which is an event that we have every year. This year, of course, we could not do it in March because of the pandemic, and we postponed it to October, and it will be in an original format because it will be partly in presence and partly online. Our friends from Italy will intervene online. And the theme of the Design Day this year is drawing the future: development, innovation, sustainability, and beauty. And I think that this sums up more or less all that design is, and all the opportunities, the huge opportunities that design gives, because design is essential for development, for innovation, so for research and science, for sustainability, and of course it makes our life more pleasant because it draws the objects that we with which we interact every day in a more pleasant way for every one of us. And I would like also to thank the University Kuala Lumpur, because they have had this great idea of a design competition in the framework of the Italian Design Day, which has been sponsored by the embassy, of course, but also by several Italian companies. And this is a sign, of course, of how Italian companies are committed to Malaysia, to MIDI, but also in general to promote and improve the cooperation and strengthen the cooperation between our two countries in the education and economic and employment field. So I think that really, in spite of the difficult situation in which we are, we can take a lot of opportunities, and we can transform this difficult situation in a way to not only to go on, but to move forward in a better and more sustainable way, thanks also to design.
So thank you, Excellency. You already made the announcement. Okay, so it made my job easier. So UniKL Malaysia Italy Design Institute, or UniKL MIDI, would like to say thank you to all the panel, to His Excellency, Mr. Angelo, Mr. Enrico, for your thought and support. So we would like to promote this to everyone. Let's grab this opportunity, having internship, working with the Italian companies, okay, because the culture are more or less similar. Yeah, so let's grab this opportunity by joining us, UniKL Malaysia Italy Design Institute. And so, thank you everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
UniKL menjadi cemerlang, menjadi cemerlang. UniKL, wow, UniKL, UniKL, wow, UniKL. Satu amanat kita junjung sama, tak kira di darat, laut dan udara. Cium tangan mama papa, tanda janji, kata pasti di kota, buktikan pada mereka. Bawa akal, jadi bekal, ikut padi untuk berisi selamat jiwa. Dikandung kental menyerahkan.